So I have to start this video off with an apology. I do, because a lot of you know I worked in higher education for a really long time, about a decade, and higher ed is a very small community, so when you work in the industry for a while, you get to know people at all different colleges all over the country. It doesn't matter where you're located, you go to conferences, you meet people, all that good stuff. And so I know a lot of people who work at the University of Florida, because that's a really big school, so I know a lot of people who work there. And I know in making this video, I might potentially, depending on how many people watch it, make the lives of a couple of people who work there that I know and that I respect and that I'm friends with, I might make their life a little bit of a hassle with this. And so I'm sorry, I really am, I'm sorry, but I had to do it. You brought it on yourselves, or your president brought it on, I just had to do it because the University of Florida is taking steps against racism, and so they issued this cryptic tweet a couple days ago, another positive step towards positive change against racism. Well, what could the University of Florida possibly be doing? Let's take a look at this statement issued by President Kent Fuchs. I'm pretty sure Fuchs is how you pronounce that. Dear UF community, nearly 3 weeks ago, following the horrific murder of George Floyd, I urge all of us to become part of positive change against racism. Last week, I encouraged faculty and staff to pause their normal work for a day to reflect on their personal actions and educate themselves on racism. Amid global protests and international reflection here on campus, many UF colleges, departments, and individuals have joined the growing efforts to address racism and inequity. To build on this important work, we announced today actions that align with our strategic goals in the Decade Ahead plan in the following 3 areas. Our 3-part mission of education, research, and engagement with the community, understanding our history and moving forward with symbolism and behavior consistent with our values. Representation, inclusion, opportunity, and accountability. And I'm not going to go through all the steps we're taking. We're just going to look at a few. So under education, research, community engagement, the University of Florida will require training of all current and new students, faculty, and staff on racism, inclusion, and bias. Now, because I know people that work there, I've already gotten people to agree to fill me in on what this training is like. They've already agreed to it. They're psyched to do it because they are not happy about having to do this training for all the reasons that we have discussed about why white fragility training is a bad idea, and we'll continue to discuss as long as this is actually a thing that we have to deal with. So don't you worry, I'm going to have more information about what that University of Florida training looks like very soon for faculty, staff, and new students. But the one I really want to focus on, we're going to go down here to history, symbolism, and demonstrating behaviors consistent with our values. Well, I know of no evidence of racism associated with our gator bait cheer at UF sporting events. There is horrific historic racist imagery associated with the phrase. Accordingly, University Athletics and the Gator Band will discontinue use of the cheer. That's right. To fight racism, the University of Florida is discontinuing a cheer at sporting events. Don't you all feel just a little less racist right now? The University of Florida will discontinue the Gator Bait cheer at UF sporting events. This is a real thing. It's a real thing. This is the article about it from CBS News. The University of Florida's president announced Thursday that the school is discontinuing the use of its Gator Bait cheer and band performance at sporting events. The school said the term is associated with a horrific history of racist imagery. Traditionally, fans shout gator bait and use their arms to mimic an alligator's mouth chomping when the band plays the familiar tune. According to the Jim Crow Museum of Racist Memorabilia at Ferris State University, African American children were sometimes used to bait alligators in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Newspaper articles and postcards from this time period also highlight that practice. Now, I want to be very clear. I am not in favor of using any children of any color to bait alligators. That's awful. That's really awful. But this is a cheer at a sporting event, man. This is a cheer. And come on. So here's what's the most crazy thing about the University of Florida getting rid of their cheer. The guy who basically invented it and coined the term gator bait is not only black, but he is also really opposed to this. He is not happy about this at all. Lawrence Wright disagrees with Fuchs' decision to drop gator bait. Cheer, controversy, and drama. President Ken Fuchs announced a decision that will not sit well with a lot of Gator fans Thursday, and that includes the former player most often associated with the cheer of Gator bait. Lawrence Wright, who famously uttered the phrase, "If you ain't a Gator, you Gator bait, baby," after a 1995 win over Florida State at the Swamp, was livid after the announcement that UF will stop using the cheer. And we have that statement from the president again. Wright, who was planning to launch a line of bobbleheads, shirts, and number 4 jerseys with the phrase he is well known for, said he was most upset that there was no discussion about it. The Gator Nation is a culture too, Wright says, who is black. It's not about what happened way back in the past. How about our culture? Me and the president need to sit down and talk about this. Yes, Lawrence Wright. Yes. Points for you, man, for calling out this insanity and for saying, like, what about the culture that we've created here? This is the dude that coined the dang term at University of Florida. Wright did receive a call from University Athletic Association official to inform him of the decision. "I'm not going for it," said Wright, who won the Jim Thorpe Award for the nation's best defensive back in 1996. "I created something for us. It's a college football thing. It's not a racist thing. It's about us, the Gator Nation, and I'm black. What about our history as the Gator Nation? We took a program from the top 5 to number 1 in the country. I think I've done enough, put in the sweat and tears to get to offer my opinion about something like this." Do a slow clap for this man. Yes, yes, this is exactly what people should be doing when this nonsense comes up over and over and over again. Wright was a member of the Florida's first football national title team. The cheer is used often with the UF band, offering the music to start it at most UF sporting events. The cheer and the Gator band prompts go back many years before Wright came to Florida. In fact, Gator Bait magazine began in 1980. "It's not about us getting along because of a cheer," Wright said. "Keep the good stuff and abolish the bad things." And that's, the perfect note to end this on. Keep the good stuff and abolish the bad things. There is nothing wrong with enjoying a cheer at a sporting event. There is nothing wrong with that. So University of Florida, come on, man. Have some common sense. This doesn't even make sense. Eliminating a cheer at a football game is not going to create a more fair and just and equal society. It is just not. And Lawrence Wright knows that because he is a smart, intelligent man. Lawrence Wright, we salute you.